Hello and welcome to the Boys Upstairs show. This is week 2 of the NFL season.
Woo!
Woo!
Appreciate it. Small and or not small, but we've got an intimate barn here today with the fellas. We got Tommy, obviously. We've got Cobe. We've got Nickson. We've got Sean. Cam has been abducted. Maybe we don't know where he is.
It was a tough
Jake,
week for Cam, the Dolphins, the Florida Gators.
the
Tough week.
Browns.
Yeah, Browns too. Tough week.
Uh,
Giants also. All of his teams lost.
every team that Cam likes lost. Which is pretty much every team in the world. But moving on, week one, little recap from myself here. We're just going to pretend week one didn't happen. Speaking from myself, as I'm not sure if any of you know, I root for the Chicago Bears, but Nickson as well could probably attest to week one not being real and
Yeah,
not.
that was our first preseason game, guys. It's
Yeah,
all good.
we're warming up. It's
Yeah,
when you hop on Xbox and then you go on Madden or something and you throw a pick six the first two plays and you're like, all right, that's a warm up game. That's a warm up game. That's what week one
exactly,
was
Sam.
for us.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I didn't sleep great on Monday night and I was pretty angry on Tuesday. I'm sure Nixon didn't sleep great Sunday and was pretty angry Monday. Congrats to the Steelers, Rooney's, yada yada, beating my guy Justin. I mean, how does it feel beating a guy who's just fighting for his life out there? But nevertheless, we'll go on. We'll go on.
How does it feel being Aaron Rodgers, getting thrown to the side and then beating your old team? That was pretty magical.
Beating my old team?
Not yours, his.
Oh, well, I mean, if I didn't hate Aaron Rodgers, it would be a lot cooler. But
Yeah,
and
that's
and,
true.
and, and real quick to recap on that, how he goes and plays Hercules on the podium and is like, oh, well, I don't want anybody, and I don't want anybody in that organization to do well, or whatever. Like, you went there, tore your Achilles after one game, sabotaged their season, got the head coach fired, got the GM fired, made them bring in all of your friends, and just blew up the entire organization, and then somehow you're wronged. Like,
That's one way to look at it for sure. I don't know if that's how I would
Sam,
look.
Sam, you got to watch the whole interview. That was, they were making him say that pretty
oh, they're
much. Like,
making him say that.
It was
I
leading
mean,
questions.
exactly. Like they tried to fish it out of him, and he finally just said
Also,
that.
like Bob Sala was getting fired no matter what.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure we can all assume Bob Sala was getting fired, but I mean that was an organizational teardown from top to bottom, and Aaron Rodgers is pretty much solely to blame for it. I wouldn't say solely, but like you brought in Devonte Adams and Randall Cobb and Alan Lazard, and like look what it got you. So I'm not a Jets fan. I've never like been like super like interested in the Jets, but like Justin's my guy. He's over there. I like the way they played week one. I hate Aaron Rodgers, so like I guess it works a little bit in my favor. So I guess I'll root a little bit for the Jets this year. But like we said, or like I said, week one didn't really happen, so I'm not sure what we were talking about there. We're moving on to week two. Some interesting storylines to follow this week. Anyone who mentions the name JJ McCarthy will be removed from the podcast, the group chat, etc. But I've talked enough. Let's move into some games here. Game one on our slate, we got the Eagles visiting the Kansas City Chiefs for a little Super Bowl rematch. I'm sure this one is going to be interesting because the Chiefs looked like shit last week, and the Eagles didn't look like awesome, but they still looked good and like they could beat anyone pretty much. Eagles are at this time, point and a half favorite. I'm sure that'll be moving around, but the show can't move around with Vegas, so pardon us. And total sitting at 4.5, 45 and a half. Apologies. Let's kick it over to Sean. What are you thinking?
Thank you, Sam. Last week I was a bit intoxicated, so I hope you guys took my picks with a grain of salt. And
Sam didn't even put him in the show, Sean. So
I
this
mean,
is really
the 0 and 4 spoke for that too. So
your debut.
well, in that case, I'm coming at you hot this week. I'm gonna take the Eagles here. I think the Chiefs are gonna have a losing record this year. That's just my take. I think Worthy had a pretty bad, or he dislocated his shoulder, so he'll be out at least this game. Um, Pacheco's kind of washed. The Eagles just came off a Super Bowl, if you guys didn't know. Um, and I mean, Hurts played a very nice conservative game. I just think Mahomes doesn't have the magic anymore. Looking a little slow. So yeah, give me the Chiefs minus 1.5 or Eagles minus 1.5, and I'll take the under for the game.
Dixon, what are we thinking?
All right. So I agree with Sean. Um, I think that, well, I don't fully agree. I don't think the Chiefs are going to have a losing record, but I do think that the Chiefs that we all kind of fear and we all kind of like, we're, oh my God, we're playing the Chiefs. I feel like that Chiefs, that it doesn't feel like that anymore. The Chiefs are they look beatable. You know what I'm saying? So I think that theme continues, especially with the performance we saw week one against the Chargers. That really spoke for itself. I mean, obviously, Xavier Worthy getting injured that early in the game doesn't help anything. But Travis Kelce, I know he had that touchdown, but outside of that, he looked terrible. Um, like Sean said, Isaiah Pacheco looked terrible. Um, Mahomes was really the only person that really came to play. The O line looked bad. They had a lot of penalties, a lot of false starts, a lot of holding. So I think the Eagles minus 1.5 here is really good pick. Like there's nothing that I saw week one that shows me that the Eagles would lose this game.
I'll follow you up there. Um, it's an interesting one because this isn't not too early, but like kind of early for a Super Bowl rematch, and I think a lot of people are just very excited for football to start. So we weren't really thinking about the 2024 storylines. But you're right. The Chiefs didn't look like the Chiefs last week, but then again, they've had some rocky week ones. At the same time, you got to think to yourself in retrospect of like they had to pay Mahomes all this money. I'm probably misremembering, but they paid Kelsey a ton of money. They've paid linemen a ton of money. That cap space doesn't just magically appear, so your roster is going to get a little bit depleted, and we're not seeing, and especially in the Super Bowl down the playoffs, as much like magic from these kind of journeyman, no name receivers from the Chiefs. And with the Travis Kelsey situation, it's like there's always a lot of discourse around him, but it's like no one's saying he's a bad tight end. Like no, he's a Hall of Famer. No one's ever like said he's a bad tight end. It's just like everyone has a shelf life. Like the dude's getting older, and there's not like everyone falls short of their prime at some point. And I feel like that might be happening to Travis Kelce, and it's no knock on him. But you're right, it just doesn't feel like the same Chiefs team. I'm gonna go with the Eagles as well. I know a lot of people are gonna pick Chiefs, just not just us, but for the Super Bowl rematch and all that, and trying to get revenge on getting just dick slapped in the big game last year. I don't think that's going to matter as much. I think both teams are kind of focused on the future here. I don't think they think about that too much, although everyone's a gamer. It's the NFL. I'm also going to go under 45 and a half, and I'm going to kind of contradict myself in that thinking back to last year, I mean, the Chiefs have to think like, how the hell did we let these guys just run all over us and whatever? So I think defenses are going to be coming out to play. Um, Eagles D looked like not amazing against the Cowboys, but the Cowboys have like a pretty sneaky, powerful offense, and we're missing their best defensive player in Jalen Carter due to his own malfeasance, which was absolutely hilarious. But neither here nor there. I like the Eagles to win this game. I think the Chiefs go to an 0-2 start, and maybe we have some more conversations next week. Who knows?
Yeah, I disagree with you guys completely, all of you. I think that we are way overreacting to week one, which I know it's like that's the only sample size we have at this point, but like the Chiefs do this every fucking year. And last year they had some really bad losses, and they also had a couple games that they were about to lose that they should have lost that they ended up winning, like the Raiders game on Thanksgiving or whatever day that was. Um, the Chiefs are still the Chiefs until proven otherwise. We were just talking about this. I think that the Chiefs can lose like 7 or 8 games, and if they get into the playoffs, they'll probably be like the team that's everybody's still most afraid of to play in the playoffs. That's just how they are. They have the best quarterback of our generation, and I think that you just have to respect them. And Obviously, the Eagles are probably the best roster in football. Maybe the Ravens are, but the Ravens don't know how to put it all together in the fourth quarter, Nickson, unfortunately. But I do think this is going to be a great game. I'm excited to watch it. We've had a couple great games in these first 2 weeks of the season so far. I have some data here. Now that we're 1 week in, there's some data that can be presented. Um, so Mahomes has only been an underdog one time ever in his career at home. And that was against the Bills in 2022. They lost that game and did not cover that game. This game, it's a basically pick 'em 1.5 point spread. But Mahomes off at loss is 21-4 against the spread as well. So those numbers are a little bit favoring the Chiefs. Um, I think that I'm going to go Chiefs plus 1.5 here. And I like, obviously I'm on the Chiefs are like too good. I don't want them to keep winning, blah, blah, blah. But like, until proven otherwise, starting 0-2 seems a little bit uh, hard to believe for me. And I also do think the Eagles did not really play that well last week. I still think they're going to be great. I think both these teams are going to be great. And they'll probably both be in conference championship weekend. But I'm going to take the Eagles or the Chiefs in this one. I put the Eagles jersey up there to confuse you guys because I wanted you to think I was going to take Eagles, but Chiefs.
Cobb?
Uh, okay, so first I want to say excited to make my debut. I was on IR for week one, but I'm off an injury. I'm ready to come in and make a play, coach.
Let's go.
So I'm glad that Tommy went before me because I didn't want to be the first one to disagree with y'all, but I agree with Tommy and I'm fading the rest of y'all. My favorite pick of this game, which surprisingly has not been the favorite pick, is the over. I think the Eagles defense, I know they were missing Jalen Carter, but they were horrendous against the Cowboys. I mean, CeeDee Lamb had multiple opportunities. No, he didn't convert, but multiple opportunities to win Dallas that game. They didn't stop the run. They didn't stop anything. They barely would have stopped Benjamin High School. So I feel like even with Jalen Carter back, I think regardless of who the Chiefs have out there, you have Patrick Mahomes, you have Andy Reid drawing up plays. I think their cornerback room is kind of weak. I think that uh they can make some plays, and I think obviously the Eagles' offense is like one of the most unstoppable offenses in the league. It's Saquon. I think AJ Brown has a big point to prove after having one of the most disappointing week ones we've seen in a while. I think that's going to be. And there's going to be a big effort and a big point of emphasis is going to be getting AJ Brown the ball early and often. So I think the over in this game is probably my favorite pick, but I'm gonna also agree with Tommy and take the Chiefs. I'm a big believer in, starting down like the Bengals did last year, how they were 1-5. Like that puts you in such a tough position to make the playoffs. And I think the Chiefs are in that time where they're trying to win as many Super Bowls as possible. This is their window, this is their dynasty window. And I think that they know, everyone in the building knows starting off 0-2 is the worst possible start you could have after 2 weeks. And I think it's definitely a big point of emphasis in that locker room that, hey, if we go down 0-2 in our division where, the Chargers got a lot better, the Broncos got a lot better, even the Raiders looked a lot better than I expected, even though they just dogged us out. And I'm another big believer in week one isn't real, but I feel like I'm going to be saying that for weeks 2 through 18 as well. So I don't know if I want to start that already. Um, but I think that anytime you can get Patrick Mahomes as the underdog, you got to take it. I think that Sam's right. I think that they're not dwelling on the Super Bowl loss per se because, they're at that point where they've been to so many. But I do think that, they want to look at the future and they don't want to start off 0-2 as nobody does. So I'm going to take the Chiefs plus 1.5 in the over.
We got a little guest picker in the house. Joey Suarez. How we doing, buddy?
I'm excited that this is my first show as a non-NCAA sanctioned athlete, so I can make actual gambling advice.
Well,
Uh,
give it to
not
us, dude.
not that anybody should take it because it's probably no good, but as a semi-proud Travis Kelce fantasy holder at the moment, I am a slightly bigger believer in the Chiefs than I was last year. Maybe a little bit of bias involved there. Um, but at the same time, I think the Chiefs just have the edge here. I have nothing to back that up other than the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce drama. I think it faded a little bit, and I think they needed to start something back up a little bit. So I'm going to take a huge. I think this game's going to be a shootout. Give me the over. Give me the Chiefs. Give me Travis Kelce scoring 2 touchdowns.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Wow.
All right, Joe. Bringing the
Fired.
heat for week two here.
I've got nothing to back that up, by the way. So
Hey,
Lay the
no
wood.
problem. That's just part of the program here. I mean, you're technically like not on the card list right now, so you can come in here and give us plus 1,000s if you want. So everyone heads up. Joe's got some big money hitters for you. But
Just make sure you clip that when I'm right.
yeah, I mean for sure.
Sweet.
Um, but yeah, we'll move on here to the second game of the slate. I believe it's a Monday night matchup. The Buccaneers visiting the Texans. The Texans sitting as a 2.5 point favorite, and the total sitting at 42 and a half. The Bucks looked okay last week and had a pretty thrilling win in that game versus Atlanta. The Texans looked like absolute shit, so I'm interested to see what we all have to say on this. Tommy, kick us off.
Yeah, like you mentioned, both teams did not look great in week one. Both teams have relatively high expectations going into this one and this year in general. That Texans offensive line just looked so bad. And like, granted, the Rams defensive front is one of the best in football, but like that Texans offensive line is what made them ass last year. And if that continues to be an issue this year, then who's like they'll probably still in the AFC South because it's the AFC South, but you got to watch out for Indiana Jones now, I guess. But Texans, I feel like at the end of the day, like if that offensive line cannot figure it out, CJ Stroud's not going to have enough time to get it to the talented receivers they got. Joe Mixon's still out. They got Nick Chubb. Um, I really don't have like a strong conviction either way in this one. I really like the Bucks coming into this year, but they look so flat against a Falcons team that I thought was going to be very mid. And maybe the Falcons ends up being good and like the Bucks aren't that bad. It's just a good Falcons team. I don't know yet, but the Falcons should have won that game. Young Ho obviously missed the kick at the end there. And yeah, I'm gonna go Bucks. I think the Bucks are gonna take this one. I think that the Bucks defense is pretty good as well. And if that Texans offensive line can't hold up, then I'm gonna take the team with the really good defense. So I also love Baker, big Baker guy, especially because he got freed from the shackles of being a Cleveland Brown. Huge fan of that. Two tough NFC matchups for the Texans back-to-back weeks, but they'll get to play, a lot of games against AFC South shitty teams. So I think that they'll be all right eventually. I'm not pressing the panic button just yet. I did want to pay respect to my GOAT, Tyrod Taylor, with the Texans jersey, but I also don't own Bucks jerseys. Actually, I do have a Bucks jersey, but yeah, I just wanted to pay respect to Tyrod Taylor there. But yeah, give me the Bucks plus 2.5. I'm not comfortable enough taking totals yet, just because who knows what these defenses are really and truly thus far this year. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Bucks plus 2.5.
I love the Tyrod Taylor respect there. That's another open invite to the show right there. Tyrod, you're welcome on anytime. Reach out to me personally. Although I know my number's blocked off for like celebrity purposes, so just reach out to me on Instagram. It's all good. I'll follow up here. Bucks I mean, you said the Bucks looked like kind of bad. I don't think they looked horrible. I think that was more of an example of a divisional like rock'em sock'em game. Uh, Baker, on the other hand, everyone here knows I'm a big Baker guy. And once he got to like the second half of that game, like he looked kind of flat. That offense as a whole looked kind of flat. He got it turned up. I forget if he had like a rushing touchdown or a big pass or something, and he was fired up. And I'm sitting hungover on a Sunday, being like, Baker, fire me the fuck up. Like you're the reason I'm getting up right now, and I'm jumping up and down. Like Baker will get you going. He's that kind of guy. He's got the juice. He's a leader. He's been there for a while now. He's him and Todd Bowles are the only sense of continuity that team has, considering they've had 8 offensive coordinators in the last 8 years. So I'm a big Baker guy. I love Todd Bowles and his defense, how he blitzes the shit out of everyone. But that Falcons, Michael Penix didn't look bad. Got a sneaky good team over there, some good weapons. But that game was fun to watch regardless. I am gonna take the Bucks to cover 2.5. The Texans, I hate betting on teams to go to an 0-2 start, but I mean that was just disheartening what happened with them last week. Like they just looked like they had nothing. And I'm not sitting here being like CJ Stroud's a bust or whatnot. And he was a 1 year wonder, but it was like nothing was clicking. And it was the team that looked magical 2 years ago and good through the first bit of last season has just fizzled off. it's like there's no flash, there's no creativity, there's no big booming plays, there's no like huge turnovers from their defense. It looks flat, and I trust in D'Amico Ryans to kind of turn that around and get that team back on track. But Tommy pointed out before the show, Bucky Irving is plus money to score a TD. Bucky's kind of the guy. Like I'm a big Bucky fan, so I'm taking that. I'm putting that on my card. Bucky Irving's going to score a TD. Baker trusts in him, and they run an interesting offense. I don't think they're really normally ever like pass heavy, run heavy, and Baker can take off whenever he wants to. So I'm going to go Bucks and a Bucky TD. Bucks can play shootouts and they can play Big Ten 10-7 games. So I don't really want to touch the total, but anybody wants to go next, please.
So I'll continue the Bucks train. I think, like how Tommy said earlier, let's not overreact to week one. That's a tough in division game for the Buccaneers against the Falcons, who is a better team than I think they get credit for. Obviously divisional matchups, you see that team twice a year. The Bucks have pretty much been damn near the same team for the past like 3 years or whatever. So I feel like an in division matchup week one is just tough. I think the Bucks are really good. I mean, obviously Baker's so comfortable in this offense now. Emeka Ibuka's that guy. He gained one as apparently he said to Mike Evans and the staff when he called for a post on the game winning touchdown route. Um, and I think Bucky's that guy. I think Mike Evans is good. Jalen McMillan is good. They didn't have Godwin. I don't know if he's playing this week, but they have enough receiving depth. They even got Tez Johnson. They're so deep in that receiver room. Offensive weapons. They have so many. Their defense looked good. I mean, even though their offense maybe didn't look amazing at points last week, their defense looked pretty solid all around. So I think the Bucks are a really good team. I was just watching someone talk about it on ESPN. I can't remember who, and they were saying that they were their sleeper Super Bowl team. And I think this team is really good. I think it's a great team. And it pains me to take them against the Texans because rookie year, big CJ Stroud guy, was all on the hype train. Last year, even when they struggled so much, I was positive about them. When most people on the show took the Chargers in the AFC wildcard game, I was one of the few people to take the Texans. They won. But I think me thinking CJ Stroud is awesome. I think that doesn't make the team any better, is what I'm finding out. No matter how much I like CJ Stroud, they don't actually like become better from that. So I'm gonna take the Bucks plus 2.5. I think that team is better roster wise, talent wise, coaching wise. I think that team is just better. And I am going to take the over. I think the Bucks offense is explosive. Like I mean, they put up 21 or last week or 24, and that way you got everyone saying, they had a bad week. They look stale, they look flat, and they pulled up 21, 24 points, whatever it was. So I think in week two where they're a little bit they're not playing an division opponent, they've had a game under their belt, they're a little bit calmer, a little bit those that rust is off. I think that offense, I mean Bucky, like I said, Abuka, Mike Evans, if Godwin comes back, that's a good offense. And I mean the Texans offense was horrible against the Rams, and I'm gonna say that they got to bounce back from that because there's one thing from having a rough week one like the Bucks had, but the Texans had abysmal week one. Abysmal. They had every opportunity to win that game. They had every opportunity to score more than 9 points. And I think if CJ Stroud, D'Amico, if everyone's not in that room this week, like, hey guys, like we didn't score. I don't even think they scored a touchdown. Like I think that if they're like we need to put some points on the board, so I'm gonna take the over and I'm gonna take the Bucks.
Nixon, what do we got? Or did you already go?
No, I haven't gone yet.
Take it away.
All right, well, shoot. I guess we're all on the Bucks then. Fuck it. Everybody loves the Bucks because I'm taking the Bucks too. Listen, you guys have hit on a lot of these points. But again, and just to show Baker a little bit more love, even in a game where he struggled, seemed like he wasn't, in the flow of the game, mistiming routes, overthrowing guys, he still made the play to win the game down the stretch. And I know Michael Penix drove down and they should have been able to tie the game, but that's why we all love Baker. It's because he's the type of guy where it's like no matter he's down and out, all the cards are against him, he's gonna fucking do something crazy to like put his team in a situation to win. And I feel like that's why we all love him.
He's a gamer.
So he's a gamer, yeah, exactly. So I feel like, just that attitude, it's very hard to pick against the Bucks in a game like this where we saw the Texans struggle. And even though the Bucks did struggle, they showed the wherewithal, the will to be able to finish the game off and get the job done. And the Texans just did the complete opposite. They, like Coby said, every opportunity in the goddamn world, and they just screwed it up every fucking time. It was ridiculous. So yeah, the Bucks. We're on the Bucks.
All Bucks, baby. Let's go, Baker. Shout out Baker. Joe, what do we got?
Yeah, I'm not going to change the tides at all. I'm honestly a huge Baker fan. Um, I think Baker being in a good system for a couple of years at this point has proven that he's actually one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Bouncing around a couple terrible systems absolutely just like got everybody on the anti-Baker train. And honestly, like I think he's just getting better with time. I think this Bucks team is actually pretty fun to watch. I think Baker's an absolute just he's a light show, dude. I liked watching him in college. He's an undersized guy. He's fiery. Again, implementing a little bit of self-bias, see myself in him, but watching him play and then watching CJ Stroud in that first game, CJ Stroud obviously being on my fantasy bench, the only reason I'm watching the Houston Texans play from Northern Virginia anyway, but um, there was nothing special there. I mean, I know he had a good year. What was it, 2 years ago? He's fine. But the trajectory of Baker versus the trajectory of CJ Stroud right now, like, give me the Bucks. I have no reason to say otherwise. Um, but yeah, they're underdogs in this game, and I think that's where Baker's best. Give me the Bucks.
It's a whole Bucks train over here. Sean, do we have anything to add here?
Yeah. I was uh out. Give me the Bucks. I like Baker. I like Bucky. I don't like Stroud in this game. Looking like maybe a junior slump, if that is a thing. Um, and that's all I got to say about that.
A junior
If
slump.
if the
I
Bucks
really don't
lose
think
this
that it's
game,
I don't think it's CJ Stroud's fault. I think it's the offensive line's fault. Also, like I'm so tempted to take the fucking Texans because
yeah,
everybody's
if the Bucks
Yeah, I
lose
mean
this
that
game,
that
you
turned
lose
into a
all
Bucks hype train real quick.
They're gonna play that clip on like a Tampa radio show or some shit. And
I mean,
they're
yeah,
like,
if
these guys
D'Amico
are so
watches this
fucking
show, we
awesome.
are fucked. That's kind of brutal. I mean, I don't think the Texans are bad, and you're right. Like I don't think CJ Stroud's a bad quarterback. I mean, he was kind of running for his life a little bit, and for not a mobile guy, it's tough to like because he was.
yeah.
You look back to his rookie year, whatever, like he was dealing on those timed throws and everything, where he had forever to throw, and now it's like it kind of looks like Caleb in the Bears offense, where he's just running around all the time, and it's not gonna help. You don't have your reads there and whatever, but I mean, who knows? I don't think they're doomed. I don't think the Texans are screwed for a long term, but they definitely do have some things to address. That being said, moving into the best part of the show, Mortal Locks. We as a unit did not do great last week with our Mortal Locks. So we're gonna look to bounce back with that. And Coby was not on the show last week. I don't think he hit his lock, but I wouldn't say it really counts since he wasn't on here. So give us a lock with a little energy, Coby.
All right, I'm really excited about this one because when I was looking at locks, this is the one that stuck out to me right away, and I just love everything about it. Um, the Bengals play the Jacksonville Jaguars,
Mm.
and this is my thing. My lock of the week is Bengals -3. Hear me out. The Bengals, they normally suck in September. They're terrible in the first month. They started like 1-5 last year. They lost to the Patriots week 1. Year before that was the game that they played the Steelers and Joe Burrow threw like 4 picks in the first game or whatever it was. But if you listen to all their interviews this whole entire offseason, all they talked about was how important it was they get off to a better start, how important it was they don't dig themselves into that hole, and how important it is to not start off 1-5, to get some wins early in the year so they don't have to string together 6, 7 wins to end the season just for a prayer at making the playoffs. And the fact that week one, which is normally their worst week of the season, they played the Cleveland Browns, which I'm pretty sure is historically one of Joe Burrow's worst matchups, is the Cleveland Browns, and they came out and won. I'm sold that they made it a priority for them to start this season hot. And guess who they're playing week two for them to take advantage of this is the Jacksonville Jaguars. The worst game of the week this week was Jags Panthers. Brian Thomas Jr. couldn't catch COVID. Trevor Lawrence is nothing special. Uh, they traded Tank Bigsby, who I think was the best running back on their roster. They beat the Panthers in one of the most boring games ever, and the Panthers were god awful. They were terrible, and they barely won. They didn't look great at all. Their defense isn't anything special. I think that this is such an important game for the Bengals that for them, as they've been talking about all offseason, they need to get off to a hot start and not dig themselves into a hole. You have to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars week two. There is no way with that roster, with that talent. They got the Hendrickson deal done. They got Shamar Stewart. They paid Jamar Chase. They paid T. Higgins. They did all that. There is no way you lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars in week two. Who barely, I mean, I guess they beat the Panthers by what, like 16 points, and they didn't score for like a quarter and a half. Like that was an awful game. Give me the Bengals -3. I would have taken this -10.
I
Down
know
it right here.
I know Tommy's going next year, but like hope like if Cobes in Jacksonville, do not let him on the streets unattended because that was, I mean, you're gonna be public enemy number one there. Like that was
I think they
impressive.
would.
I've
I
never
think
seen
they.
someone hate Jacksonville so much. And
I think that the Jags fans would agree with everything Cody just said.
I'm sure they would, but like that was harsh. I mean,
Hey, you told me to bring some energy. I'm giving it to you
you
how I
you
feel,
you
man.
brought that energy. I mean, you lived up to it. I'll tell you that. All
Appreciate
right,
it.
Tommy, what do you got?
All right, so Cope just mentioned how the Jags barely beat the Panthers. This week, the Carolina Panthers are playing the Arizona Cardinals, who last week looked pretty good against, the New Orleans Saints, who was probably, the worst team in football other than Cleveland. Um, what do we know about the Panthers? What's the number one thing that stands out about the Panthers in the Kyler Murray era? They start the season like very strong, very good. And the fact that they get to play the AFC or the NFC South to begin the year, week one against Panthers, or week one against the Saints, week two against the Panthers, I think the Cardinals are going to start 2-0 no matter what. I do not see a world where they lose this game. The spread is 6.5, which is, a touchdown. I think they're going to win this game by a touchdown. Kyler always starts the season strong. Him and Marvin Harrison Jr. do look like a better duo this year than they did last year as well. I think the Cardinals are going to, there was that year, I think it was like 2022, 2023. They started like 7-0. I don't think it's going to be that. I don't know the rest of their schedule for the next 5 games, but this week is all that matters. If I had a gun to my head, one game I feel the best about, it's that the Arizona Cardinals are going to cover 6.5 against the Carolina Panthers. So that's what I got.
Since Sean had clinched going next, but he's not here, I'm gonna take his spot. Now he's ripping the guitar. I'm surprised because Tommy sent me a text like 2 minutes ago how he's changing his lock to what I had as my lock, and it's okay for two guys to have the same lock. No problem with
Well,
that because
I previously had the 49ers, but then I've been monitoring the situation and it looks like Purdy is not playing.
oh, okay. So yeah, so I'm the other side of that because of this. I'm taking the Saints here, plus 2.5 against the Niners, at home. Like the Niners, I mean, this might be Kyle Shanahan's like you look through his pro football reference page and you're like, damn, that dude was a great head coach. And then like you see like 8-9, and then you're like, what happened? And then you see like, oh, 5-12. Yep. And then it ends there. Or it's like there's another head coach that season. It's no knock on Shanny, really. I mean, they've been kind of cursed. I think Mac Jones is going to take the ball if that's who it is at this point. Kittle got hurt week one. That's just brutal. Things are looking bad in San Francisco. They won a dogfight against Seattle, but Seattle didn't really show any sort of promise. And like we said, week one, overreactions, yada yada. It doesn't matter. Saints Spencer Rattler trotted out there as QB1. I actually like I'm the last guy you'll see defending Spencer Rattler, but like he didn't look horrible. Like he actually made some good plays. Olave, I mean, pray for that guy. I'm surprised he's still alive. Like if you saw that hit he took after all the concussions he's had in his life. But if he's good to go, he's still a playmaker. Kamara's still a playmaker. They lost a close one. I think they'll bounce back. I don't really know what to think of Kellen Moore as a head coach yet, but I think they've got something cooking there, and the Niners are kind. I feel like they're going into free fall right now, and I think this is going to be the last year of that regime that we see, and it's looking like a full bill rebuild out in Santa Clara, Santa Monica. I forget what they are. San Francisco. We'll just call it that. But yeah, not much else to add there. We're going Saints.
All right, I'll take the reins. Give me the. This might be a shock, but I thought our former quarterback Justin Fields played a hell of a game last week against the Steelers.
You're damn right he did.
I believe
Damn right he did.
I believe are a good team. I believe they are going to be a great team as well. And I'm going to take the Jets. I believe it's +7 against the Bills. I think they're going to win this game. I think we've given Josh Allen a lot of hype, which is granted. He's probably the best quarterback in the league. But I have the Jets upsetting Bills here.
That might be lock of the.
That'd be a hell of a
What
pick.
the
That might be pick of the
fuck?
week if that hit. Like that might be pick of the year if that hits.
That's key of the
Yo.
year.
That is bold. I like that.
That was insane.
Nixon, what are we thinking? What are we locking in here?
I was looking at the slate and
Ravens
thinking
minus
about
11
the
and a
teams.
half.
Nah, that's a lot of points, and we usually play the Browns goofy as hell. I don't know. I didn't like that. It was just too many points. If it was like 7.5 or some shit, but nah. Um, I was thinking about the teams that impressed me week one, teams that went out there, started off hot, and I was like, I'm kind of gonna ride the coattail going into week two. The team that impressed me the most, Chargers. By far, they looked amazing against the Chiefs. Justin Herbert looked really good. I know it's like he's Mr. What If and shit like that. Like, yeah, no, I know, I get it, but it's the regular season. Justin Herbert's he's going to be on a heater. It's Justin Herbert, and so I'm taking the Chargers. They really like, and even from their defense, from a D line perspective, and they're playing the Raiders. Like, they're not playing anybody that really, you know, is going to really do much. Ashton Genty scored a touchdown, but he couldn't rush the ball. Like, the O line is terrible. Yeah,
Gino looked pretty good. Gino had 4 touchdowns, I think.
Gino
Gino
threw
did
for like
look good.
370 or something.
He did look good, but I think that Chargers D line is really gonna make them uncomfortable. I'll put it that way. It's gonna make them a little bit uncomfortable.
Harbaugh has that kind of thing about him where it's like you don't even know what he does or like what kind of system he runs, but like, you know that defense is gonna crack on
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're
Exactly.
gonna bang.
I mean, you got to consider this piece of data. Teams that have Kenny Pickett as their backup quarterback have won the Super Bowl every year. So factor that in.
Chargers? Is he a Chargers backup right now?
He's a Raider.
Kenny Pickett,
He's a
proven winner.
Raider.
Raise the banner.
Raider. Oh my God, if the Raiders win the Super Bowl, God damn it.
This show will fold if the Raiders win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, if the Raiders win the Super Bowl.
And the world might go to shit if the Raiders win the Super Bowl.
I'll feel a lot better about week one if the Raiders win the Super Bowl.
Will Pete Carroll be alive by that time? Like,
But I think he's dead by the parade. I don't think he makes it to the parade.
that might be his,
Pete
that might
Carroll's
be his
still out
final
there
calling
going
card.
through routes on air. Like, Pete Carroll's in the best shape of anybody his age on planet Earth.
He does look good. I was surprised.
No, he does look
What is it?
good.
Like
He's
75
old
or
as
something?
fuck. Isn't he about to be like damn near 80?
Yeah, he's close.
I think he's like in his mid 70s, maybe 74. But
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
He's just a ball coach, man.
if the Raiders make the playoffs or win like 10 games, he's probably getting coach of the year. So
Easily.
Oh, for sure.
If the Raiders win 10 games,
easily. The coach of the year is literally just whatever coach with the lowest expectations wins the most games. Coach of the year, easily.
literally.
Or it's like if you have a shitty quarterback, like Kevin O'Connell had Sam Darnold. It's like, dude, you won 14 games with Sam Darnold. Like,
Your
give him the
coach is
keys to the
good.
kingdom. Before we get off, Joe, what are we locking in here? You've had some two spicy picks so far.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm reading this right, but I saw the Commanders as three and a
Oh,
half point
Jesus Christ.
dog
We're not doing this.
against the Pack.
Unfortunately, that's the Thursday night game, and this show won't be out by then, so we can't do Thursday night games.
Shit. Well, all right, that cooks what I had, but they're gonna win that football game. By the way, um, that was my pick.
I'll make you this deal, Joe. If I can get this out, if I can get this out to the public, to the people by tomorrow night, that's your lock. You're set in stone. But I mean, just scroll through the schedule for a second and give me just something you like.
Yeah, while I scroll through this, though, I will give my piece on the Commanders. That's going to be the game where the Commanders are going to win that football game, and people are going to be like, wait, this team actually might be fucking legit.
No, people are gonna be like the Packers suck, like they always do. They're the NFL's darling now because they traded for a top player. A big whoop. They've done nothing else.
It's a good
That
point.
game is literally the battle of the two teams Sam hates the most.
Literally. Like my hatred, my despise of the Commanders has risen so much that I was talking to my buddy on the golf course today. Like, I don't even know who I want to win that game. And coming from a Bears fan, like that is strong. But I mean, living in the DMV area and being around you mutant Commander fans is has really taken a toll on me. Recently watching Jaden
No,
Daniels beat
Sam.
up on the Little Sisters of the Poor for 230 passing yards. MVP, MVP, MVP. Guy's a good quarterback. Okay, let's be fair here, all right? And it's almost as bad as JJ McCarthy winning NFC Player of the Week. And you're really going to get me wound up now because I told myself before this week I wasn't going to get angry. I wasn't going to get angry. It's week one. We're going to let the season go out. No, I'm already angry. The narratives, the media spinning, whatever. Let the season play out. All right. There is no Jaden Daniels is not the MVP for beating the Giants in week one. JJ McCarthy played like ass for 3.5 quarters, and now he's getting Tom Brady comparisons. And Coby, I hate to say it, that should be an indictment on Tom Brady, and you should be insulted by that. If you have
Did they
anything to,
really compare JJ McCarthy to Tom Brady after that one fucking bullshit ass game?
Because they
I
both went to Michigan.
It's
I
probably just
100% agree. That is disrespectful to the game, to the school, to the
it is
goat.
beyond disrespectful. I'm sorry to cut you off, Joe, here, but I had to say my piece on this, and I've been recording for what 45 minutes now or whatever in this show, and I just couldn't hold it back. But
does doesn't every unathletic white guy from Ann Arbor, Michigan, get Tom Brady comps though? Like, let's be realistic. When
this
the
is a fair
not
that is a fair statement.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, he's a bad-bodied, unathletic quarterback, but we got him in the late rounds. Like Tom Brady, maybe. It's like, all right, like let's stop being so hopeful. But uh, I was looking at, I want to say the Giants are going to beat the Cowboys this week. Honestly, I think the Cowboys are such a mediocre franchise. Like, honestly, I just can't stand Dak Prescott at this point. Like his eternal optimism with the absolute joke of a system that they have going on there is just so funny to watch at this point. He's just like, yeah, we're on the verge of something great. And then somehow they always lose like an insane amount of games. They always lose in the fourth quarter of a game that they should absolutely have locked down. And you know what? Like, I think they're going to write the Giants off and they're going to be like, all right, this is Dak's going to come out doing stupid drills. And he's going to be like, all right, guys, this is where we start something great. And then the Giants are going to come in and they completely underestimate them. Don't get me wrong. The Giants are a fucking terrible football team. Like, I'm not taking anything. I'm not giving the Commanders any credit for last week. Like, I think they just walked out and did what they were supposed to do.
I'm
But
good.
yeah, I think the Giants are going to win that football game just because I don't like the Dallas Cowboys. I don't like Dak Prescott. And I don't think this is the start of something great. I think Jerry World is kind of a joke. I think Dak Prescott is super overrated, even for as much of an underperformer as he is. And yeah, give me Giants outright to win that game.
I mean, Joe, I gotta say, I fucking love it. Like being like the Giants who played the most pitiful football game I've maybe ever seen in week one, being like they're gonna win this game because I don't like the Cowboys and I don't like what they're doing over there. Like I like that energy a lot, and
I don't. I feel like it's been kind of the our era, it's like, oh, the Cowboys are going to be good. And then not only are they not good, they're horrible. And they lose to bad football teams. And I think this is just another one of those weeks. That's where I'm getting this from.
Joe's
Well,
motivating me to
there
become a
you
better
have it,
hater.
gentlemen. We're gonna send that past 2 minutes to Scott McCabe, and he is not gonna be a happy camper. I'll tell you that for free. But I think we got everyone for locks. Yeah,
Yeah, I
just
just want to say, Joe, you're motivating me to be a better hater. You're on like
dude. Joe did come on and give some good hater
generational hate
energy.
right
That's
here.
that's
I'm loving it.
you're
No, I
talking.
love the negativity. I'm all here for the negativity.
I need to
You
be
know, I was
better.
gonna say something nice about the Commanders, and then I didn't realize that was the Thursday game because it was the only thing I was paying attention to. So then I just had to revert to hate. You know, I used
And you
all of
did
my
it on the fly too, which made it that much more impressive.
yeah. Honestly, talking ball when I don't know what I'm talking about usually reverts to hate. As the resident baseball pick here, when I go to football, it's like, well, people don't like that. Like they probably feed off that a little bit. I don't really have a lot of good stuff to talk about on the positive
Well,
end.
I
So
mean, NFL season is basically 18 weeks of who do I like and who do I not like, and that's for everybody, and it's a shame what it's come to, but
yeah, today I picked the Dallas Cowboys to be the recipient of that. So
love it. Um, Tommy, do you have something to add?
No, I mean, hey, I'm excited for week 2 of football. Football
Yeah,
is
I mean,
back.
I'm kind of fired up now after
It
after
was such a
that.
great feeling to like just sit on the couch Sunday all day with our guy Scott Hansen and just absorb ball the entirety of the day. And then we got it finished off with like one of the best games I've ever seen. Unfortunately, it didn't go Nixon's way, but what a game that was. And then,
that was a fun game.
Monday nights, Sam had to be put back in purgatory, but it was just great to be able to watch ball.
Yeah, that was
Hey,
a
I will say, fuck that Bills fan that pushed Lamar Jackson. You don't touch my goat like that. You're a bitch. Fuck
yeah, it
you.
was fucked up, but I like watching my JUCO king Josh Allen tear it the fuck up. Let's go.
Yeah,
and
Josh
that
Allen's
I
incredible.
I I like both those teams. That was a fun game to watch, and Collinsworth at a point in there was literally just going. He actually didn't have words for what was going on, which
He
I found kind of entertaining.
He did call it though. Like there, I think it was right after the Derrick Henry fumble. He was like, "This game is not over." Like, and I was like, "Dude, this game's over. Like, they're gonna score once, but they have to score twice. Like, it's not gonna." And then it happened. I was like, "Holy shit!"
At 40 to 25, I was on my computer right here filling in the cards with green for the Ravens spread and red and doing the records and everything, which takes me a whopping 45 minutes of grueling effort to run through a Google Slides and edit these things, but I mean, once it got to that, I'm like, it is 11:45 on a Sunday. If I swear to God, if I have to go back and edit this stuff, and thank God we had a 1.5 spread for the show. But I mean, what a game. But that being said,
I'll also just add this really quick. Obviously, I'm an East Coast guy, always have been, always will be, but this is my first Sunday of watching NFL football on Mountain Time, and it is way better. Like, so much nicer. Like, obviously, it sucks having to wake up a little bit earlier because the game started at 11 a.m., but that night game being over at 9:30 was like perfect. So,
if
shout
you're
out
if you're a
Mountain
guy
Time.
that has to wake up early, I can see that. If you're a mid morning riser like I am, it's I love ripping that until midnight. But it does suck waiting until 1 o'clock to watch your team lose, and then on Monday night wait until 8:15 to watch your team lose. But yeah, I mean, great show, fellas. I
Great show.
hope the viewers enjoyed and the last couple minutes here of just some good old fashioned ball talk.
Nothing
Um,
better.
but like and subscribe as always. If you don't like and subscribe, I'm not gonna threaten you on live TV here, but you should like and subscribe. We'll see
Tell
you.
your friends.
Let's have a good week too. Let's win some bets. Let's all win some money, and we'll see you back here at this time next week for your regularly scheduled programming.
Yes, sir. Good work, Sammy.